So, um, moving on, getting to this Tupac thing, right? And shout out to Rose, shout out to Biggs. Y'all know what it is. Um, what I wanted to say. So, in this Tupac thing, right? This is gonna get interesting, right? Especially for all y'all that follow the story and know it well, right? Instagram, I'm live on YouTube. If you want to see what's on the screen, go on my story and hit the link and you can join me there. All right. Or you can stay right there and you'll be all right. Some of y'all might be at work and sneaking on your phone, getting some entertainment. All right. So getting into this, right? Now, shout out to my man Don Sikorsky. They just dropped a new dossier book. I'm trying to wait for the audio book to come out because I'm not trying to read all them goddamn pages. But I might have to if they don't put out the audio version in the next month because I just want to see, if they came up with any new information, right? But according to that new dossier, what I did see in there, right, and I'm gonna say allegedly because I didn't see the paperwork myself, but they're alleging that how Reggie always say that Reggie Wright Jr. always say that he had right way security. Well, according to this new dossier, allegedly, Reggie Sr. is the one who owned right way security, not Reggie Jr. They saying it was in Reggie Sr.'s name, not Reggie Jr. Interesting, 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 right? Yeah, we know Suge got a book coming out. Um, Mo Preem just dropped his book in a lawsuit. So it's a lot going on right now, rolling right into this trial, which starts August 10th. And Keefy D go back to court June 30th, just for an update to make sure everything's going and flowing in order. Now, I'm about to tell y'all some stuff that's going to connect some dots, but this is purely hearsay, right? Even though I got some reliable sources in Compton, I have to take everything with a grain of salt because I don't know who's giving me information to feed me information to put stuff out there that may not be true, to throw the dogs off the scent, or it may be 100% true. But the fact that I wasn't there and I don't know the players and I don't know the places and I didn't grow up in Compton. I can't say for a fact that any of this stuff is true. But the person that gives me this purely hearsay has told me things in the past that was true. So it could be all true, it could all be a lie, it could be some parts true, it could not be. But for me and everybody that's watching, this is purely for entertainment purposes, and this is purely hearsay. Okay? Now, what I just told y'all is what made me do this deep dive uh into this information, right? Because according to that new dossier, Reggie Sr. is the one that owned and started Right Way Security, not Junior, allegedly, right? Now, I'm about to run down exactly how I got it, right? But this all makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's gonna make sense to everybody. It is purely hearsay what I'm about to say. And some may be fact and some may not be fact. I don't know. But I'm just gonna get straight to it and run through it. And if you know this Tupac case like everybody else, and you've been following it, then some of this stuff is gonna make sense to you, right? If you are from Compton and you are watching, this will definitely make sense to you if it makes any if there's any truth to it, right? So let's get into this, right? I'm gonna change the title to this show to is this is purely hearsay, right? So from what I'm told, right, there's a cop named Hewley Taylor. Uh there's brothers that I believe that were both on the force. One I know was for sure Eric and Percy Perriton, right? And then you got Reggie Sr., right? Reggie Wright Jr. and Reggie Sr., right? Now, this is how, this is the origin of how the police got it. Allegedly, this is the origin of how the police got at Deathrow and how ultimately uh Suge and Tupac become victims of a drive-by in Vegas, right? Now, Sir T, what up? So check it out. They say that Hewley Taylor, allegedly, this is all hearsay, remember that. Hewley Taylor, Eric Paverton, Percy Paverton, Reggie Wright Jr. and Sr. all had a meeting at the outpost over on Palmer and Almeida. Almeida? Almeida? I don't know. If you're from California, you know the street. Alameda, right? Palmer and Alameda. They were discussing how much money that Suge had just got for Death Row, which was $147 million allegedly at that time, right? Um, so allegedly they was sitting at the outpost over there on Palmer and Alameda, and they was plotting on how they were going to get money out of Suge. Now, this allegedly takes place in the Santana block, which is a Crip neighborhood. Now, allegedly, one of the Crips overheard this meeting that they with them plotting on Suge because he's sitting in the booth next to them, right? Now, allegedly, like I said, it's purely hearsay. It was Percy and Eric Perriton, Reggie Sr. and Jr., Hewley Taylor, and who were discussing how to get the money out of Suge. So they came up with the story, right? That dudes was planning on extorting Suge and kidnapping Suge to tell Suge that he needed protection from the gangs. And that's how the cops ultimately got into Death Row, or should I say infiltrated Death Row.